Uh, Welp, I think it's time to come clean. You know, I've had a lot to say about Weiss Customs, and I've played some HoloLive OCG on this channel, but I have a not so secret. I've been making customs for the OCG too. I wanted to make some cards for the Yen groups, and as we saw from the No Patience set review, making cards for them in Weiss is gonna be a real mess. Then again, it might get even messier doing this for the OCG since there's not a point buy system, and honestly, I haven't played all that much of the game itself, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Promise. I know Liam over at Weiss and Chills made a video about some OCG customs, and I actually submitted some earlier drafts to him for him to talk about, but you know what? I don't want to wait for that. So today, I'm going to walk you through my incomplete archetype for the dearest deer, the keeper of nature herself, Serious Fauna, and I look forward to your feedback in the comments below. Fauna's cards were some of the first I designed in the first collection I proxied in Photoshop. Proxied? Are they proxies? Whatever. That was back in December 2024 for the most part, so with Set 1 and some of the Set 2 previews in mind. She's promised support, aiming to maintain board presence by healing off damage taken. If they want to take you down, they'll have to do it in one shot. Unfortunately, the game seems very much about doing that right now, so unless you're playing against a deck like Kobo, it might seem like you won't get much use out of those heals. Even so, I think you'll find it's worth taking advantage of, especially once her second's on stage. I gave her hashtag art rather than create a new interest tag because both, it's easier, Lamau, and because there's more hashtag art support down the line in my custom collection. Hashtag alum is the tag for any and all graduates or affiliates for my customs. If they're not a full-time active member currently, they're alumni. Currently, this does not have any applications or synergies, but I might make a gravity for the tag or something like that in the future. We'll see how things go. I'm not completely sure right now. Alright, that's enough preamble. Let's get into the card by card. Starting with a pair of them, naturally. Fauna's debut and vanilla firsts are Set 1 era stat sticks. No text to dig into here. Debut Fauna has 110 HP, baton passes for 1 cheer, and says, Confana, for one of any color cheer to hit you for 30. Vanilla first Fauna has 170 HP, baton passes for 1 cheer as well, and says, Fine well, with 2 cheer of any colors to hit for 50. These are here to be cute art and because everyone gets vanillas like these. I aim for profiles that had solid HP stats for the time and were completely generic on cheer requirements to maximize their splashability in various builds of Promise. And maybe some other decks? Hard to say. Probably not, though. The debut could have had some extra text on the art, but I wanted her to be a decent size HP-wise as well as generically usable. Side note, y'all notice that the Promise debuts lean on the squishy side? Definitely something I felt like Fauna would be good to address. Moving along, first idol Fauna has 120 HP and also baton passes for 1 cheer. She heals a hashtag Promise Holomem on Bloom for 20 HP because she'll take good care of you. Promise. And for any 1 cheer, she'll shoot a Feel Better Beam at someone for you. Ironically, the Feel Better Beam does deal damage, 20 at base, 30 if you healed someone during the turn, and she also recovers a cheer from your archive when she does this. Promise already has Crony Idol for its ramping needs, but Fauna can refill your gauges later in the game, and if she's refilling HP, you get a bonus for it. Still a little scared to put her on the front lines, though. Anyway, second Fauna has 200 HP and baton passes for 2 cheer. On Bloom, acting as the keeper of nature, she heals every one of your hashtag Promise Holomem for 40 HP, herself included. For her art, she performs her signature song, Let Me Stay Here, a title which definitely does not get more bittersweet with every passing day. I'm definitely not crying, you are. She needs 1 green cheer and 2 of any colors to perform this art, which deals 60 base damage and 50 extra to yellow Holomem because GG Mirren. As long as your center is hashtag Promise, though, it'll do 40 more damage, and if you healed someone this turn, that's another 50 points, meaning 150 total with conditions fully met, and 200 against a yellow-colored Holomem. That's also before the Promise damage buffs, because Promise has more than a few. The restricted first Iris, as well as both the Iris and Mume seconds. Not that you can get all 3 of those in a single turn, but damn, that's some overkill potential. Or just some damage assurance when you can't meet both conditions for one reason or another. Really depends on your perspective on that. Second Fauna is the logical conclusion of healing is a good thing to do. Very annoying for a deck like Kobo, maybe exclusively Kobo in that regard, but as long as even one of your HoloMem needs some kind of recovery, you got some very high damage potential with this second. Maybe too much. Originally, this didn't have nearly the ceiling it currently does, so let me know if you think I tuned this. Stepping away from HoloMem, Fauna's Oshi is definitely unique. Once per turn skill, Oh Dear, lets you spend 2 Holo Power to heal 50 HP after blooming a HoloMem. This is a straightforward activation condition that gives you more healing procs for both her idle first and her second. Her SP skill, Return to Nature, is a multi-tool. Once per game, if you have a Fauna front and center, you can spend X Holo Power and choose a HoloMem in your opponent's backstage with X minus 1 HoloMem stacked underneath it. For example, if your opponent has a Suisse with 3 HoloMem under it, you'd need to pay 4 Holo Power total to target it. Once you have your target, you down that HoloMem without dealing life damage to your opponent. That's right, hard removal, once per game, with a price tag to how much investment your opponent has in that card. That's not all, though. If you paid at least 4 Holo Power to do this, you get to take a cheer from your archive and put it on top of your life, something so far no other Oshi can do. 4 Holo Power is a steep price, but returning a stacked Suisse to nature and getting to be a 6-life Oshi is probably worth it, right? That was my thought process behind the effect, at least. Our last card, the Humble Sapling, is a copy of Noelle's Fan. It reduces the damage your Faunas take from any source by 10. It's intended to give you more tanking capacity by making the heals matter more, but just giving more max HP probably makes more sense here. It's not an automatic inclusion by any means, and there's no Fauna card that searches or salvages them yet, so feel free to bring a friend along instead. And, yeah, that's all my Fauna cards for now. You'll notice that despite the fact I made a Fauna Oshi, there are only 4 HoloMem cards here. The Oshi was made separately a significant amount of time after the rest of Fauna's cards. I designed those following the template of Bay and Crony from set 1, then made a Sapling. After designing some cards for other HoloMem, I made her Oshi. You can tell by the card numbers even. Did you notice? Let me know if you did, as well as changes you'd make to these cards, and maybe how you'd fill out this Fauna archetype in the comments down below. There's a debut and a first bloom still waiting to be made after all. Until the next time you see me, I've been J3 Puffin, and I'm gonna go lay down in my backyard. Maybe this time I'll be able to start photosynthesizing like a good sapling. Bye, y'all.